ArtFight, ArtFight, ArtFight. It's June, which basically means it's July, which means ArtFight, the art training game that most artists wait for all year. And because it's just around the corner, it's time to prep for it. Some people prep starting at the beginning of the year. Some people like me start prepping about 3 months ahead of time. And some hooligans start to prep a few days before the fight starts. And to those fools, grab your pencils and let's get prepping. One of my first characters that I'm going to be working on is Wolfram. I actually gave him a new character sheet last year, but I don't like how it came out. It just looks very bland and boring, and I didn't draw both sides of him. I only drew his left side, and then his right side I left up to a little doodle, which I do not like. It's just lazy. So I'm redrawing it and in a more appealing style. I really wanted to emphasize his floofiness because I failed to do that in the one from last year. So another big part of prepping for ArtFight is not just redesigning your OCs and updating your profile, but finding bookmarks of characters that you're going to attack when the actual game comes. This year I'm trying to be more tame with my bookmarking, and instead of just immediately going and finding a bunch of characters, I actually went through my current bookmarks and deleted the characters that I knew I was never going to draw, instead of just adding to the pile. I decided to do it like this because last year I made the mistake of bookmarking a bunch of characters before the game started, thinking, oh yeah, this is it, this is all the characters I'm gonna bookmark, I'm prepared. But I didn't realize how many characters I was going to bookmark after the game started. Let's just say the amount of characters I bookmarked that year was very high. So yeah, I'm not trying to go overboard with the bookmarks. I only have 3 folders actually. The regular folder with the, usual characters that I would attack. The second folder is a folder of hidden characters, bless their souls. And then the third bookmark is humans. Because I'm a person who really only draws animals and fantasy creatures, and I've never really drawn humans. Until now, I'm learning human anatomy. So this art fight, my goal is to be drawing humans and getting better at it. I'm quite nervous actually, because I just don't have a lot of confidence when drawing humans. But like everything, it's a learning process. It's one of the things that I love about ArtFight. It's such good practice. If you compare the first year I joined ArtFight, if you compare those attacks to my attacks from last year, it's just such an improvement. I'm so proud of it. ArtFight also gets you out of your comfort zone. So like now that I'm learning how to draw humans. 2025 is going to be my 4th year participating in ArtFight. And every year I have a different style of how I render and do line art and all that sort of stuff. It's just such a cool opportunity. Another perk about it is that it makes me actually keep up with my character designs. It actually makes me draw their new designs instead of just imagining it in my head. This year is a tough one because I've got a lot of characters to update. And I know I don't have to do all of them, but I want to. But like all of my characters are outdated. It's gonna be a lot this year. I'm not gonna burn myself out though. If I don't get to all the characters, that's fine. I'm not gonna force myself. Just a reminder to not burn yourself out before the game even starts. Something I did to better motivate me to actually get working on my character sheets is making a little list of all the things I have to do before ArtFight starts, and I put it on my wall, and then as I accomplish the things on the list, I cross it out, and hopefully I can get the whole list crossed out. For me, it helps me stay a bit more motivated and just organized. But when it comes to like the final week before ArtFight starts, I'm probably gonna slow down on drawing and only prep my profile. At least I say that now. We'll see when the time actually comes if I'll stop working on my character sheets. I'd just rather be very excited to draw than very burnt out. The next character I'm gonna be working on is Emerald. She actually goes in with the same story as Wolfram. She's getting a big makeover, unlike Wolfram where his design didn't change, I just drew him in a nicer style. She's getting a makeover. I'm not doing her character sheet layout like I did Wolfram's, where I'm going to have her left side and right side. Wolfram's, it was kind of necessary because his design is different on either side, while Emerald, she looks exactly the same from both sides. So I just did a one angle. I'd like to take a moment to thank this video's sponsor, me. Specifically my ArtFight account, Ray of Colors. Do you want to get art made with love of one of your OCs? Well, look no further and visit my profile. I revenge every attack that I get. And have you seen my battle ratio? The kind of characters I attack are dogs, cats, big cats, dragons, hoofed animals, big animals, small animals, fantasy creatures, and now introducing humans, along with other kind of human characters like elves and mermaids. If you want a drawing of one of your lovely characters, then come to Ray of Colors on ArtFight. The link will be in the description. Thank you, me, for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get back to it. Going back to the bookmark folders, as of recording this, they're actually pretty new. I think they just got added like a month ago. I think they're pretty nice. I definitely don't use them as much as other people because I don't have that many different characters to differ from. I'm only using 3 right now and your limit is 7, but I think I'm probably just going to stick with the 3 because I don't really need other ones. I do think it's pretty cool and useful though, especially for like the hidden characters. It's a lot more organized and nicer to just put a character in their correct spot. But there was another update that ArtFight added. This one was actually added last year, but it is so useful. I love it. And that is the thumbnail customization. Oh my gosh, it is life-changing. Right now, the way you edit thumbnails is by picking a picture and just zooming into it and then clicking enter, and that's it. That's your thumbnail for your character, and it's amazing compared to before this update where you had to make a 200 by 200 canvas, add in your the picture you wanted to use, and then it would be so low quality, and if it was off by 1 pixel, it wouldn't allow you to use that image, and it was just such a pain. And if you did the thumbnails manually, the quality would just go down. It was tough. But now with this new feature, oh, it's so nice. I love it. Changed my life. I did have a little problem with it last year. When I would change the thumbnail for an attack, it would take like a whole day for it to edit and show up. That was the only problem with me. I don't know if anyone else experienced that, but I do hope that gets fixed. Besides that, I'm fine. I don't need any other updates. Now let's talk about teams. Every year there's a different team's theme. Last year was Seafoam vs Stardust. The year previous was Vampire vs Werewolf. So let's talk about this year's team choices. I'm gonna read them one by one and tell you my thoughts. Okay, first off, Arctic vs Tropic. This is one of the ones that was in last year's vote, and I do not like it. It's very generic. I'm gonna pause very quick and introduce the next character. The next character of mine that I'm gonna be redesigning is Ash. He is getting a whole new design and a whole new concept design. He's an original species that I created, where they're basically like dragons, but they can transform into a different animal, and Ash can transform into a Highland cow. Okay, back to team themes. Okay, the second one, City Lights versus Forest Knights. I actually think this one is going to win this year because it's very unique. I think it also catches people's eye because it's 2 words for each team, City Lights, Forest Knights, when it's usually just 1 word for a team. I really like this one. It was actually my top vote. Next one is Destruction versus Creation, which this one is also from last year's teams. This one's alright. I do wonder if Creation would be the overpowered team because we're all artists and we all create, but I don't know. Flora versus Fauna. This one's alright, not one of my favorites. Fossils versus Crystals. Don't really like it. I mean it's fine, but Glimmer versus Gloom. It's alright. Heart versus Soul. Ugh. I don't like that one. It's just very weird team. Lovestruck versus Heartbreak. Don't like it. Also very odd. Time versus Space. That one's alright. Unicorns versus Dragons. I really like the Unicorns versus Dragons. It's better than last year's where it was Knights versus Dragons, and it would have been the same situation as the Werewolves versus Vampires, where everyone was like, oh, all the furries are gonna go on werewolves and all the regular people are gonna go on vampire. I didn't like that whole thing. I didn't like that everyone was saying that and how it was very stereotyped. So I definitely like Unicorns versus Dragons a lot more than Knights versus Dragons. I'll put up the order in which I voted for the teams. Now I also want to talk about last year's team themes because I think they should have brought some of them back for this year. The ones they brought back for this year are the ones that I don't really like that much. So let me go over last year's too. Start off, Arctic versus Tropic, the one they brought back for this year. Clouds versus Caverns, not a big fan. Comedy versus Tragedy, well, that one's alright, it's one of the better ones. Destruction versus Creation, Flora versus Fauna, Fossils versus Crystals, Heart versus Soul, these are all ones that were brought back. Heroes versus Villains. Why couldn't they bring this back? I love this team so much. Why couldn't they bring that back? Instead of like Heart versus Soul, why couldn't they bring back Villains versus Heroes? That's such a good team. Come on, ArtFight, I want to be a villain. Next one, Dragons versus Knights. I already said how I feel about that one. Rain versus Shine. That one I actually don't mind. That one's nice. Seafoam versus Stardust, of course, the one that we got. Spring versus Autumn. I do not like this one. It's also very generic. Last year, I was worried that it was going to win because so many other people liked it. Space versus Time. Did this one? Oh yeah, this one was also brought back for this year. And Trinkets versus Treasure. That one's alright, not a big fan of. But really, the one that I wish they brought back was Heroes versus Villains. Oh, it's just such a good team. But I'm guessing they pick the ones that they bring back based on like the runner-ups that people really liked. And I guess Heroes versus Villains was not one of them. So, oh well, I guess. I hope it gets brought back in future years. Now, in past years, they reveal the team theme like a week before ArtFight starts, but I hope this year they do it like last year where they did it 2 weeks before ArtFight started. I really liked that because I liked to prep knowing what the team was, because something that I did last year was I made my profile match the team just because I think it really looks nice. And yeah, I want those 2 weeks to ready my profile and make it look pretty for the game. This is only 3 characters that I redesigned for this year's ArtFight. I have in total 30 characters that I want to get done before ArtFight. So, you know, that's a lot. Not redesigns, just make them look presentable, I guess, and newer. Most of my characters, they're just outdated. So yeah, I have a lot to work on. So I think I'm gonna leave it here. Those who have made it this far, thank you for watching. I very much appreciate it. I'm going to have another ArtFight video, probably around the end of ArtFight. I'm going to be editing the video while ArtFight is happening, so yeah, look forward to that. I wish you all a wonderful ArtFight. I wish you many attacks and improvement, and I wish you luck. Comment your ArtFight username in the comments if you would like to. And yeah, later.